Hey, what's up, Street Dogs? Currently here with the new Fujifilm. What's this called again? GFX?
Yes.
What's this called again? What's this camera called? What is this camera called? Yeah. The GFX? GFX.
No, not GFX.
Okay. So I believe it's called the GFX. It's a new medium format digital camera from Fujifilm. First of all, it is a really cool camera because it just feels great in the hands. The viewfinder, there's a detachable viewfinder. I actually think it's better without the viewfinder because it's a lot lighter. And actually it's easier to use the LCD screen. The cool thing with the LCD screen is that it folds down like this, so you can shoot low angles. And also, you could tilt this out and shoot all these different angles. So it gives you a lot more flexibility. I imagine if you're shooting fashion, you want to shoot super low angles, it's better to use the LCD screen and get low. What I also love about the camera is that it feels very comfortable in the hand. So the thumb grip here, it's very comfortable. Your finger fits well there. The on and off switch works really well. Also, I love this little light button. So you could quickly see the settings on and off. And in terms of the lens, the 63mm I think is brilliant. You could either change aperture priority here, or if you just want to make this automatic, push this button here and you can change it to automatic. Unfortunately, one of the downsides of shooting medium format is the higher ISO performance is actually worse. So my friend Shad gave me his X100F. Comparing just very basically, the new Fujifilm X100F looks way better at high ISOs than medium format. So if you're a type of photographer, you're shooting more low light, do not buy a digital medium format camera. Even shooting ISO 1600, the photos don't look good. You'd probably want to keep at ISO 400 or lower. So it's really not a street photography camera unless you plan on shooting everything at ISO 400. It's probably more of a commercial, portrait, wedding type of camera where having more megapixels allows you to blow up your images higher. Also with this kind of camera, you're shooting at f2.8. That's kind of like shooting f1.4 or 1.2 with a full frame camera. So you get more bokeh and depth of field. In terms of the weight, it's actually pretty light. It feels like about the same weight as like a 5D, if I could compare it to anything else. The proportions are excellent. I think Fujifilm, whoever helped you guys design this camera, you guys did an excellent job. I'm a big fan of the camera. And I was really excited about the camera because there's not that much innovation happening in the middle. Digital medium format camera. If you're a street photographer, do not buy this camera because you're better off buying a new X100F or X100T probably, or Ricoh GR. If you are probably shooting fashion or wedding or portraiture and it's more of a business investment, get it. The thing, once again, I'm a little bit disappointed about is the high ISO performance isn't that great, but anyone who knows anything about sensor technology, it's not Fujifilm's fault, it's just the bigger the sensor size, the worse ISO quality. That's why the Fuji X100 series is better, is that by having a crop sensor, you can have better high ISO performance, or the Sony A7S II, it's only what, 8 megapixels or something like that, and you can shoot at ISO 100,000,000, so it's pretty cool. Some quick thoughts on the Fujifilm X100F. First of all, and this is just weird aesthetic things. I don't like how the shutter speed dial is a different color than the body. To me, that's kind of dumb. That makes no sense. I'm not a big fan of this thing. I don't like that because it makes it a little bit harder to change the new ISO, which is cool. You pull this thing here, and you could change the ISO, which is a great, beautiful design thing inherited from old film cameras. One thing I actually do not like, I really do not like this new joystick here. A lot of people like this because you could quickly change the focusing point. The reason why it's really annoying to use is that if I'm just out shooting in the street, I usually keep my thumb about here. It's always gonna bump this dial here. So while it's a thoughtful idea for a design, in practicality it's not good. In terms of the performance, the autofocus is even faster than the X100F. So if you're out shooting street photography, you don't want to miss a decisive moment, this camera is definitely great for you. Other than that, there's really not that many big changes. I think in terms of Fujifilm cameras, or the best value camera for street photography, the X100F is probably the best camera for you. And personally, I will not be buying the X100F or the the new medium format Fuji camera because I think still the design hasn't been simplified enough in my opinion, and my personal recommendation is never buy a first generation anything like a new iPhone or whatever, because they're always going to have problems. You remember the first iPhone, how many problems it has? So wait until Fuji Gfx Mark II. Definitely get the Fuji X100F if you're interested, because they've had so many iterations that pretty much by now there's really not much they could do except remove things like remove that Fujifilm. You don't need that. Nobody uses AEL, AFL. I don't even know what that does. View mode is good. This is good. This is good. I don't know why they added a text for drive whereas everything doesn't. That makes no sense. This is really cool design. Maybe just change the color to make it fit better. Fuji, if you want to make this camera look cooler, do not put in Fuji non-lens system. That looks kind of lame. Don't even put X100F, just make a Fujifilm. That would look cool. Other than that, everything else from the camera, it's really good. The chrome finish is actually quite nice. It feels comfortable in the hand. It's probably the best value from Fujifilm, so highly commend Fuji for doing all this awesome stuff. But if there's one lesson in life I learned, it's this. If your photos aren't good enough, your camera isn't expensive enough. So please, please, please buy a new Leica M10 and an Alpha Deluxe, and you'll be happy for the rest of your life. All right,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Very good. So fast. Very good.
Am I good? Am I good? Do I have gift of the gab?